Hey, how's it going?
Good. I really hate technology.
Oh, it's all right.
I love it and I hate it at the same time.
Am I supposed to see you on the screen or no?
No, 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 no. This is just audio.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's all good.
Uh, how's your day going?
It's good. Just getting started here. It's only noon.
Uh, I've I had to start early because I had some appointments, and I went decided to go out last night, and then two dogs that I'm dog sitting decided to wake me up. They like to get up at like 6 in the morning.
Oh my God. Yeah, I have a dog like that too. She has to get up at 6 to get fed. It's so annoying.
Oh my God.
And then I go
Yeah.
back to bed. I go back to bed for like another hour or two after that.
Yeah, I try. Like, I'll leave them outside for a little bit, but the older one will just yelp at the door, and she's like, "All right, let me back in." I'm like, "Okay, fine."
Oh my God, hilarious.
They just don't understand.
Where do you
Uh,
live?
I'm in Atlanta.
Oh, cool. I was
So
there recently for that Jawbreaker screening for Wussy.
that's right. See, it's funny. I find out all these things like afterwards, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I should have gone to that." I don't know. I just don't keep up enough, I guess. I mean, it's if I see it in passing, then I'll know. But like, if it's on Facebook, forget it because I don't really even use that much.
Yeah. So I'm actually realizing I have a little bit, I have a lot to do today. So could we do a half hour? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool.
No, no.
Starting whenever we start. I know we're just like chit chatting now.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of the whole thing. My thing is just chit chat. That's about it. So, no set questions, no script or whatever.
Cool.
Um, so I would have loved to have gone to the wussy thing. I have to gush for a second. I do love Jawbreaker.
Thank you.
And I love the shit out of the soundtrack. I'm surprised the CD actually plays still.
I love that you still play
Oh
it.
yeah. Well, I mean, when I get a chance to, the CD player in my car sometimes work and sometimes it doesn't.
Right, right.
It's an old car, so whenever it decides to really do something, then. But yeah, no, that's a really good soundtrack. Did you have any hand in selecting all the songs, or?
Yeah, I did. I was very hands-on. I was a fan of Imperial Teen and a fan of the Donnas and love rock and 90s and alternative and music in general. So everything in that film was pretty curated for the most part. I mean, I had a music supervisor, but he turned me on to a couple of things that I wasn't as familiar with.
Yeah,
But for the most part, it all came from me for sure.
yeah. So it's funny how a lot of people they'll talk about Mean Girls, but I'm like, Jawbreaker was more so Mean Girls for me. That was my version, the darker side.
Yeah, I know, right? I love that. I love that there's a generation of people who, you know, it's their movie and Mean Girls is not, and that's great,
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
nothing against Mean Girls. I mean, it's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, it doesn't have that dark edge for sure.
Yeah,
They're not killing people. Like, no, the
yeah.
girl's not killing people by
Yeah.
accident.
Yeah, me and my roommate just watched it because I think we were trying to watch Drop Dead Gorgeous, but that's not streaming anywhere. And we're just looking through, and she's like, "Let's watch Jawbreaker." I'm like, "Always a good idea." So I'm still mad that
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to my Drop Dead Gorgeous DVD, but it's lost somewhere, and someday they'll put it on streaming, hopefully.
Yeah, that sucks. I have mine. I still have my DVD. I don't know why that's not on streaming. It's so weird.
I don't know. I must have let somebody borrow it, and I really shouldn't do that ever again.
No, no, especially with something that's out of print.
Yeah. Um.
Yeah.
So what made you want to direct?
Um, I it's just something I think that you're sort of born with. I just have loved movies from an early age.
Yeah.
Um, and growing up in LA, I used to pore over the calendar section, which is like all the culture section,
Hmm.
and it had huge, like, great artwork for all the movies and 70 millimeter, playing in these movie palaces in Hollywood and Westwood
Yeah.
and I just love movies from a very, very early age. And my grandparents started a film lab in Hollywood in the 60s.
Oh wow.
So I was raised around celluloid, and I knew that film was like a physical process. And so my dad had a camera when I was like 8 or 9 years old, a video camera, and he started making my earliest films. So my very first thing was this newscast called
Hmm.
called Crazy News, which you can see part of. And I made a documentary called "Put the Camera on Me." I don't know if you've seen that,
I have not.
but
I'll have to watch it because I love a documentary.
yeah, it's $1 on Amazon Prime,
Oh,
and it's
cool.
70 minutes, and it's all the films I made as a kid. So it's
I
pretty
guess
funny.
I'll spend $1 on you.
uh, so yeah, I made that little news thing, and then I made my own version of the movie Shock Treatment. You know,
Oh yeah.
I had I was really obsessed with Rocky Horror,
Hmm.
and I had a record of Shock Treatment, and I hadn't even seen the movie yet because the record came out like way before the movie came out. And I remember just playing the record over and over again, and like had my dad film kind of my version of what I thought the movie was with the neighborhood kids, which was basically just playing the album, both sides of the record and us dancing
Yeah.
around to it, dancing around to it. But there was a story, kind of.
Yeah. I used to make my friends recreate the Blonde Ambition tour.
Oh, wow, that's ambitious.
Yeah, I still know the choreography, but sadly, my knee does not want to do any of that anymore.
I saw the Blonde Ambition tour
Oh,
in Portland or something, or no, Oakland.
oh
Uh,
wow.
Yeah, I was going to NYU. My friend Dalia was a huge Madonna fan, and I of course was too. And she's like, "Do you want to go?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I met her in Oakland,
Yeah.
and a life-changing show. So great.
I wish, like, how old was I in 90? Like 12?
Hmm.
And I had to be a secret Madonna fan. I wasn't, like, they knew that I was into her, but my mother didn't really want me to like her. And so, um, I just remember hearing about the concert, and I lived like 45 minutes east of Oakland.
Hmm.
So I just remember seeing it in the paper, and I was like, I want to go. But it was like Mother's Day, and I was like, there's no way. Like, my mother would never, ever. It was bad enough watching the HBO special of it because she threatened to rip the tape out of the VCR because the Like a Virgin part came on.
So was she very religious?
Yeah, I grew up Baptist, which was super fun.
Oh God, that sounds horrible.
Yeah, my grandfather was a Southern Baptist minister, so yeah.
God. Oh wow, so you were really indoctrinated.
Yeah, so that's the trauma in Tramadonna.
There you go. There it all makes
Yeah.
sense. Holy shit,
Um, so
crazy.
is there a movie that you saw like that wanted, I mean, one particular that you're like, I need to do that, like this, like the be all end all, like that just kind of kickstarted the passion for it?
It's probably a lot of movies. I think it was stuff like Rocky Horror,
Mm,
Tom, Tommy, A Clockwork Orange, uh, The Shining, all this stuff that I was watching in the 80s.
yeah,
Even something as weird as pure as Oklahoma. I just thought that was incredibly cinematic.
yeah.
All that all that jazz, the Bob Fosse movie I
Oh
saw very
yeah.
young. I had this thing called the Z Channel, which was before home video. There was this cable channel only available in LA called the Z Channel. And it was like having a film festival in your house.
Oh wow.
And my dad, because he was in the business, had it. And like, they never hardly watched it, maybe in their bedroom or whatever. But like, and they did. My dad was always at work. My mom was always like shopping or in aerobics. So I was just like downstairs in the den watching shit on the Z Channel. And it was like adult stuff, like they would program it like week by week. So say if one week was like a Kubrick week, it'd be like The Shining, Clockwork Orange, and like, Doctor Strangelove, and the other one with Brian, what's his name?
Was it Barry?
All Barry Lyndon, yeah,
Yeah,
all seven of all of his films playing kind of on repeat for a full week.
yeah.
So it was very easy to get sort of like obsessed because you'd see parts of them or you'd watch them again and again. So I was kind of lucky that I had parents that weren't too up in my grill about that stuff. And I also had like a huge obsession with horror from a very early age. I
Oh
was just,
yeah.
yeah, I was just like drawn to dark shit. Like my very earliest band that I loved was Kiss and Alice Cooper, you know.
Hmm.
And Rocky Horror, you know. I remember seeing the Rocky Horror record at the warehouse, and it was like that woman's face, you know, it was like the Roxy Cast record.
Hmm.
I was like, ooh, bloody letters and a glamorous woman. Like, why do I like this? So I felt like my aesthetic was like very formed when I when I got into all that stuff, you know.
I feel like you just unlocked a memory I totally forgot about warehouse music.
Remember Warehouse? It was called the Warehouse. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so. I know. I miss record stores. I miss Tower Records so much.
I used to love Tower. I used to love it.
Have you ever been
Uh,
to Rasputin's
I
or heard
haven't.
of
What
it?
is I haven't.
It's like a Bay Area thing. They have one in, I think, Berkeley and San Francisco, and then Concord, which is the town I grew up in. It's one of the coolest music stores ever.
I missed out on that. I know Amoeba in San Francisco.
Yeah, I love Amoeba. They
Yeah.
still that's still in LA, isn't it?
Yeah, we still have it here, but
Okay.
I was recently in San Francisco for a trip. And I had to pop into Amoeba because I was showing my brother like Kate Ashbury, and we were walking
Yeah.
around the city. And they had my documentary there
Oh
on
wow.
DVD. You know, because it's fun just to check and see if they have your stuff.
Yeah.
And they literally had one copy of it. It's so rare and out of print. I like bought it for $5.
Hell yeah.
Um, yeah, but we are very lucky that we grew up in the physical media age. You know,
Yes.
I
I
just don't know
also
how kids do it today.
I don't know. I believe that's how I'm able to multitask. Like I can, I can drive, I can talk on the phone, I can pay attention. I don't have to like text and do all these things. It's like you know, I can do all the things. And
Yeah,
it's weird to have grown up in when I was a kid, we had 8 tracks and records and then tapes and then CDs and now it's, digital. It's just weird.
yeah. What year were you born?
78.
Oh, I see. I'm 71,
Oh,
so
okay.
you're younger than me. That's so weird that you remember 8 tracks being born in 78.
Yeah, we had an 8 track player. I remember we had like Elvis and the Kiss albums when they did like the 4 albums.
Yeah, yeah. Wait, so who was listening to Kiss in your house?
My sister.
Oh, and your parents didn't mind her listening to that?
I don't see. It's funny because it's like I don't know if they were more strict with me and my brother or um, I don't know. I know that like my first concert was Amy Grant. I went to Christian school, Christian camp, all that. So I mean, I'm sure my mother wasn't happy about it. And I don't even know if my mother, after a while, didn't do a lot of research on what she was getting us.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, yeah. I think also after our father died, I think my mother just kind of checked out of it. So it was easier to um, get into certain things, except
Yeah.
except for Madonna and gay stuff. I think she didn't want me to get into Madonna because of that was my portal. This is
Yeah, she probably, you know, mothers know about their children. You know,
yeah,
mothers always know about their little boys who are gay because they're like little gay babies.
yeah. I used to go to my grandparents' house and I would wear my grandmother's kimono and I would take the picnic basket and I played like Little Red Riding Hood or whatever or Cinderella and like my grandmother would buy me paper dolls and we'd watch the Oscars together. I mean, if my sister told me she knew when I was 4 and I was like, well, why didn't we have a discussion then?
Wow. Well, your grandma sounds fabulous.
Yeah, she was a great lady. My grandfather was very stoic and withholding.
Uh-huh.
That's probably the best way to describe that. So interesting dynamic growing up. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot that I discovered that I probably shouldn't have through older siblings. Like I remember when I was a kid watching Pink Floyd, like when I was like single digits.
Yep, yep. I saw
Um,
Pink Floyd way too young, loved it.
yeah.
I liked anything that was like sexual and violent and dark and weird.
Oh
Like
yeah.
the weirder, like anything subversive drew me to it. And I think you're born with that. Like it's sort of a sensibility.
Well, and for me, there was so much that I was being told no, and I couldn't, and that made it even more so. Like I became obsessed with Halloween because it was the devil's holiday, and I was like, well, that's cool. I want that holiday. Um,
Wait, so you weren't allowed to like dress up and trick or treat and stuff?
we did when we got, I don't remember, because I mean, I think my mother, she gave into a lot of stuff because I think there are three of us versus her, but we were always told that, what the holiday signified and, but we weren't really allowed to like get into it. And of course, then she got three like horror obsessed children.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy to have three. I mean, it's one thing to have one, but three is unusual.
Well, and it's different levels too. Like, I really enjoy like the psychological stuff and I enjoy the campy, like Elvira and all that.
Hmm.
Um, I think my brother and sister are very much into the gore and all that. Like I saw Nightmare on Elm Street 2 when I was a kid. That was my first Freddy movie, oddly enough, the gayest one of all.
Right. Right. That's good. I was going to say the Gay Freddy movie. That's a good one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Have you
I
seen?
saw that. I saw that one at a screening when I was a kid,
Oh wow,
in high school, whatever. Because my dad and I were members of like this club called like I think it was called the Horror Sci-Fi and Fantasy Film Club
yeah.
in LA, and it was presided over by this very gay man named Dr. Donald Reed, who had this high voice. Hi kids, it's Dr. Donald Reed, and he was just—I didn't even know if he was gay, but he was very eccentric.
Yeah.
And one of the film, and they'd show these films, and then they'd have the stars or the filmmakers in attendance. And so Robert Englund was there,
Oh wow.
and I remember he signed my Fangoria, and he wrote "See you in your dreams."
Oh, that's great.
I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Yeah.
I always loved his little quips in the movies. I don't. I mean, even Freddy was kind of campy.
Oh, for sure.
So
Yeah, Peaches Christ says Freddy's a drag queen, essentially, which yes, that makes sense.
yeah, I love Peaches Christ.
Yeah, Joshua is a good friend of mine. One of my best friends. And I produced his movie All About Evil.
That's on streaming, right?
Yeah, it's on Shudder.
Okay, I think I have Shutter still.
Oh, watch it. Definitely watch it.
Because I got it for the Queer for Fear documentary,
Uh-huh.
which is really good. But I think I still have it. If not, then I'll
Yeah.
get it again.
Yeah, Cassandra's in it and Mink Stole. You'll get into it. It's super campy and fun.
I love Mink
Natasha.
Stole. I love Natasha
We,
Leone. I love them
yeah, we
all.
cast we cast Natasha when nobody was casting her. Like she was only like a year sober.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it was a wild time. It was fun.
yeah. Seems like it would be. I do have a question about one of your movie posters.
Okay.
And I'm gonna butcher the title. I keep wanting to say Where the Wild Things Are, but it's not.
Wild Tigers I Have Known.
Yes.
Okay,
So
I was just a co-producer on that. It's not I didn't direct that.
okay. Well, I mean, I know you're attached to it, but the poster. Do you know who the artist is that did that? Because I think it's David Mack, but I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either, but I could probably find out. I have not talked to Cam Archer who directed that in forever.
I just
Wait, David?
I saw it because I was looking up your bio, and then it came up there, and I was like, that looks like David Mack, which is interesting because I love David Mack. And then one of the Marvel shows I did, he created the character of Echo, so it was like full circle. So
Is David Mack, is he gay?
no. But he started writing this comic book called Kabuki after his mother died. That was his way of coping.
Wow.
And it's really beautiful. It's very like mixed media. It's a lot of like collage and it's very surreal at times. Um, I was very angry when I received it at first because my ex-boyfriend got it for me for Christmas. And it's the scene, the one he got me is, she's in the hospital and half dead. And then she like has this vision or whatever conversation with her dead mother. And my mother had just died like 2 weeks before.
Wow.
But he got that for me to help because David Mack wrote that to help him through his grief. So it made sense in the retrospect.
Hmm.
But yeah, he's an amazing artist, and he's done, I guess, a lot of stuff with Marvel and like Jessica Jones, who
Yeah,
did the theme.
I'm looking at his work right now. It's really beautiful. Yeah, I don't know if he did it or not. It looks very similar.
Yeah, I just saw that and I was like, whoa, I'm like, I have to ask about that because I Googled it and it didn't even say who did it. So, uh, but anyway, that's neither
Yeah.
here nor there. Like, you didn't direct it, so why are we talking about it? No, I'm just kidding. Is there a movie that like you saw that you wish you would have directed?
I I don't really think in terms of what I wish I would have directed. It's
Yeah,
it's more just kind of movies that I love and admire.
yeah.
You yeah.
I just sometimes see movies and I'm like, God, I'm like to have been able to do that, and why didn't I think of that? Or it's just like Orlando. That movie just is astonishing to me.
Yeah, it's a great movie. I would love to revisit Orlando. It's been quite a while since I've seen that.
I need to read the book someday. I've never read it, but the movie is amazing, and that's really what started my Tilda love affair.
Oh yeah, she's so great. She's so brilliant.
So
Have
what?
you ever
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a movie called Love is the Devil?
Oh God, have I? I don't think so.
Well, Tilda's in it.
Okay.
And she's a small part, but it's about Francis Bacon, the artist.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've seen the preview for that, I think.
Yeah, check it out. It's a really cool film, and it's the first movie with Daniel Craig.
Oh yeah,
But Tilda is part of his cabal of like evil, evil kind of like fag hags.
yeah.
It's really funny and like dark and bizarre, and the whole film is photographed in the style of a Francis Bacon painting, so it's kind of
Oh wow,
nightmarish.
that's cool.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I definitely have to see that now.
Yeah,
Tortured artists. That's my bag.
yeah.
So what's next for you?
I am putting together Jawbreaker the movie musical remake.
Hell yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I Kim Petras is playing Fern because Fern is trans in this version,
Nice.
and I'm talking to actors right now. Like I just had a meeting with Paris Jackson, and I had a Zoom with Chloe Bailey of Chloe and Haley, and um, the head of the studio wants a couple big name pop star names in it.
Yeah,
So I'm in the process of finding those, and then like hopefully bringing him a package and seeing if we can get the green light. So that is one of my projects.
you should just call Madonna and ask her.
I
She's done touring,
don't know if Madonna wants to play high school.
No, I know she could be like.
Ariana Grande wouldn't even play high school anymore. We
No,
talked about her.
she could be like the detective or the principal.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, Judy Greer is going to play Miss Sherwood. Like,
That's awesome.
yeah. Um, and then I have another movie called Aunt Max, which is
Hmm.
the most autobiographical thing I've written, which is my 90s LA Harold and Maude story.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, it's about a friendship, this intense friendship I had with this older woman when I came out of the closet.
Hmm.
My mom didn't talk to me for a year, but her married friend from the Valley, like kind of became obsessed with me
Yeah,
and became my wing woman and my best friend. And like, it was just an unusual friendship
yeah.
that was not meant to last, but we had a really good time while it did last.
Right. I had a lot of those. I had a lot of like surrogate mothers growing up, and I think that's typical of gay kids. Um, I mean, my mother got accepting towards the end, but I really had to like, branch out and find other like mother figures.
Yeah. And she was just so encouraging, and she would say, "You're so good looking." She was like, it's like we look when we're young, we don't think we're good looking, and then we look back at pictures of ourselves and we're like, "Wow, I
Yeah.
look great back then." But when you when you're actually young, you don't really appreciate it, right?
Yeah, I know. I see pictures, and especially when I used to go to the goth clubs and stuff, and I'm just like, rail thin and wearing makeup and hot, and I was like, to be that him just for a minute.
And isn't that funny?
And I used to think I was fat, and I was so skinny. It's just funny how your brain tricks you, especially, well, gay, the culture. My friend Jen says that I am straight skinny and gay fat, and it's
that
true.
that tracks. That totally tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're so hard on our bodies. I remember even my skin. Like I was using Clinique cover up for my pimples in high school, and it
Hmm.
came in different shades of brown or whatever. And then like I got into moisturizer. I was like covering my bags, my like dark circles when I was like 15 or 16 years old.
Oh
Like
my God.
I was like, I think maybe it's kids who, gay kids who have that like hyper vigilance about their looks,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's so weird.
I Hello.
Hey, I hope that got recorded.
I'm pretty sure because I got the notification that it said that it was finished and processed. So I hope. So I don't. Someday I was doing too good with episodes where I didn't have to like piece stuff together, but sometimes I have to Frankenstein stuff because you know.
Yeah, that's part of the podcasting world, I guess.
Yay. Um. Yeah, I know it's, and I know that like I'm not lazy about it, but I just like to, I don't really edit it. I just record and whatever comes up, and it's fascinating to me and just therapeutic. Um, I know some people just fine tune and perfect, and I don't know. That's not me. Nothing
Yeah,
wrong with it.
yeah, they're just different approaches. It's all good.
Yeah, I'm just having my Oprah moment. That's all.
Hmm. Hmm. I love that.
So, back to Jawbreaker the musical.
Uh,
Who are now? Are you? Do you do music? Like, do you write music? I mean, I know you're a writer.
I don't do write music, but I had a composer and lyricist on that,
Okay,
and we collaborated. I wrote the libretto, which is like I guess they call it the book for the musical,
right,
and then I adapted both the stage musical, and the original movie, and that became the movie musical,
nice.
which is a whole new thing, a whole new script.
Yeah,
But
that's wild.
but the remake is basically the same. It's the same story of Jawbreaker, but it's just told as a musical, and Fern is trans. And the reason why Fern is trans is because, and Liz's ghost is more present throughout. Because in earlier drafts of the movie, Liz's ghost was part of the story, and she just kind of didn't make it into the movie really.
Yeah,
Um, so that's Liz has a lot more presence, and then Fern is trans because a lot of trans people have messaged me to tell me they felt like the Fern to Violet storyline was like a trans narrative,
yeah,
and resonated for them as trans when they were young. And I was like, oh my god, I love that. I'm gonna make that subtext the actual text. You
yeah.
know, yeah,
That's
so,
good. I mean, that makes sense.
yeah, because the queerness of the movie is all kind of subtext for the most part. I mean, obviously the aesthetics bright and colorful and super campy, which is just me as a person.
Right.
I, I was trying to like make it timeless and like out of this world and kind of like its own reality. Um, so the musical is going to be cool. I really hope we get to make it because the script's really great, and the trans element is so important. I think for trans people to see themselves as part of
Yeah.
that cult movie story, and that new remake would be just, I think it would change people's lives in a really good way.
Yeah.
So hoping that Sony wants to do it. I mean, we're getting a lot of really great interest from actors and pop stars and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I'm really excited about it.
That'll be cool. I think I have a lot of faith in that because I see so many things that are turned into musicals, and I'm just like, why? So, but I mean, it's obviously you're not doing it just because, I mean, I'm sure money's great and everything, but there's a bigger picture to it.
No, yeah, this is my baby, and like over the decades, people are always like, "When's the sequel? When's the series? What's
Yeah.
happening with Jawbreaker?" So it's like I feel like I'm very responsible. Even Rose herself has like, had her own ideas, for movie remakes.
Yeah.
So, I'm just trying to like do something with my movie.
Yeah. No, I get it. I think that that's a good way to breathe fresh new life into it instead of doing a total remake or doing like a sequel or a show, because I don't know. Sometimes it's just like the story's already been told, but I mean, you can retell it just with more depth, I suppose, and more, uh, a lot more than originally. You can add more to it.
Yeah, for sure. Like I feel like it's a really fun reimagining.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wrote the original when I was 25. Now I'm 52, so it's like to revisit a text that was me in my 20s is very late 20s is really interesting.
Yeah.
So I have a completely different perspective on the characters in the world as an adult, which is fun. But I'm still youthful. I'm still young. I don't feel like I'm a 52. I'm a normal 52-year-old at all.
Right. I mean, I don't, yeah, who is it? Somebody was telling me that I guess like 50 is a new 30, and I feel like everybody says that each generation or whatever. And I'm like, who knows?
Totally.
I guess if everything isn't falling apart and you still feel good, then more power to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I keep all my journals from like when I was 15. Like during the pandemic, I was writing a book, and I kind of technically finished it, but it was about childhood trauma and my autobiography and all that fun stuff.
That's
And
awesome.
but going back and reading things from when I was like 15 on,
Mhm.
it's cringy. I mean, it's good, but it's also like perspective.
Yeah.
And it's nostalgic. It's interesting to just like where you were and who you thought you were, and I mean, especially when you're a teenager, you think you know everything.
Oh yeah, for sure. Kids,
Yeah.
we are a handful as teenagers, no question.
Oh yeah. Like when I dropped out of high school and moved to Seattle, and I was like, "Fuck this, I'm leaving." I called it my too big for my britches syndrome.
How did you
So
like Seattle?
I was kind of miserable only because I didn't know anybody, and the friend that I moved up there with, we moved in with a friend of hers, and that got weird because like the girl was all into me, and I was like, but I'm gay. And then my friend got a boyfriend, and he moved in, and then he like kind of played all of us, and I was like, I need to leave before I sleep with your boyfriend.
Oh my God, the
um,
drama.
yeah, I was only there for 4 months. Well, and then it turns out that my ex-girlfriend went up there to go see me, and she wound up sleeping with my friend's boyfriend, and it just, yeah.
Wow.
18, I tell you.
I tell you, yeah, that sounds like a limited series in itself.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny to look back on life and realize that, you just can't make a lot of that shit up.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
for sure.
like, I'm sure that it is a fascinating journey with is your story with the older woman, does that have a title, or
Oh yeah,
is
it's
it,
called Aunt Max.
that's right, you told me.
Yeah, and Martha Plimpton is attached to play Max.
Oh my God, I love Marshall Plimpton.
Yeah, so that's fucking crazy. I'm so excited about that. Yeah.
Please tell her to be on my podcast. I keep trying to, I am her. I'm like, hey, I love you. You're my favorite Goonie. No,
Yeah.
you don't do that. That's embarrassing. But
But But you're right. She's definitely the best Goonie, no question.
Yes, I love her. I love 200 Cigarettes so much. That is me when I throw a party.
Amazing.
It's like nobody's coming. Yeah, I watch that every New Year's.
Oh, it's such a good movie.
It's amazing. That and Four Rooms.
Oh yeah. Oh,
But I skipped the last room because I can't really stand Quentin Tarantino.
I gotta revisit that movie. Martha's in that?
No, no. But it's a New Year's movie.
Oh,
No, Madonna's in it, of course.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right. Right.
Martha
Okay.
should have been in it.
Oh, I know. She would have been perfect in that, right?
Yeah,
All right. Well, I have to go now, but I had such a good time talking to you.
yeah. I
Thank you
appreciate it
for,
so much.
yeah. Thank you for reaching out.
Of course, and I look forward to seeing your future projects.
I do too.
And I'm gonna go watch that documentary.
Oh yeah, it's called Put the Camera on Me. It's fun.
Perfect.
Let me know what you think.
Of course, I will.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Have a good day.
You too.
All right. Bye.